Well, what I've said is I don't believe that we've had enough jobs created and industrial benefits done out of the F-35 contract. I think it's not enough. I think Canadians expect more, and we should get more. So that's my first point. And second, when it comes to the Gripen, of course, we're really interested in seeing what can be done because there was an unsolicited bid that came up. 10,000 jobs is indeed a very interesting offer. So we have to look at what our military capabilities need, and at the same time, what are the number of jobs created across the country.
Swedish defense manufacturer Saab has submitted a proposal to the Canadian government that could reshape Canada's fighter jet procurement. The offer includes 72 JAS-39 Gripen multi-role fighter jets and 6 GlobalEye airborne early warning and control aircraft. CBC News reported that this package is tied directly to the creation of up to 12,600 Canadian jobs. The proposal arrives as Ottawa reviews its previously announced plan to acquire 88 Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II fighters. The job creation figure breaks down to approximately 9,000 positions linked to Gripen assembly and 3,600 jobs connected to GlobalEye production. Saab confirmed that both aircraft types are required to reach the stated employment figure. Senior Saab officials stated late last year that the company could create about 10,000 jobs in Canada, but the size of aircraft orders required to reach that number had not been disclosed until now. Simon Carroll, president of Saab Canada, stated that Saab remains ready to support the Government of Canada with sovereign cutting-edge solutions for the Canadian Armed Forces that will grow domestic industry. Industry Minister Mélanie Joly told CBC News that the government is interested in all major projects that can not only protect Canada's security and sovereignty, but also create jobs across the country. She emphasized that while Canada cannot control President of the United States Donald Trump, it can control defense investments, who receives contracts, and how to ultimately create jobs in Canada. The Gripen E is a 4.5 generation multi-role fighter capable of Mach 2 speeds. It possesses a Raven ES-05 radar and an infrared search and track sensor that provide continuous target detection and tracking. Onboard avionics share information across units in near real time, enhancing situational awareness and coordination with other platforms such as the GlobalEye. With up to 10 external hardpoints for a wide mix of NATO weapons, including beyond visual range missiles and precision-guided munitions, the Gripen can perform air-to-air, air-to-surface, and anti-ship roles. Deployable from shorter runways and with a logistics concept oriented toward rapid turnaround, the Gripen E's combined attributes would provide Canada with a multi-role fighter capable of operating in diverse conditions, which is particularly relevant for Canada's vast geography and northern territories where runway infrastructure may be limited. The GlobalEye airborne early warning and control aircraft is based on the Canadian Bombardier Global Express business jet platform. It would fill a capability gap for Canada, providing a persistent airborne node for integrated air and maritime awareness. The GlobalEye integrates an Arrier-ER radar system mounted on the fuselage that can detect and track airborne and surface targets at distances of up to approximately 450 kilometers or more at altitude, with an endurance of up to about 11 hours. In addition to its primary airborne early warning radar, the GlobalEye carries a Seaspray 7500E maritime surveillance radar for surface tracking. Its multi-sensor suite enables simultaneous surveillance of air, sea, and land targets. The GlobalEye's extended range and persistence could make it well-suited for monitoring Canada's vast northern and maritime approaches where terrestrial radar coverage is limited by geography and the curvature of Earth. Saab plans to establish production facilities in Canada, particularly in Ontario and Quebec, where aerospace expertise is well established. GlobalEye aircraft would be built in partnership with Bombardier, anchoring a significant portion of the program within Canada's aerospace sector. Saab Chief Executive Officer Mi-Ka-El-Yo Han-Sun stated that if Canada wants to create sovereign capabilities not just buy aircraft, Saab is prepared to transfer technology to Canada. The proposal emphasizes full technology transfer and partnerships with local firms supported by a pan-Canadian supplier network. The offer enters a policy environment where Canada is reviewing its 2022 commitment to purchase 88 F-35 fighters. While the first 16 F-35s are expected to begin arriving this year, the remainder of the order is under review. No final decision has been made on whether the full fleet will be maintained, reduced, or complemented by another platform. Canada formally selected the F-35 in 2023 after a competition that evaluated capability, cost, and economic benefits. The total cost is now estimated at more than $27 billion. Defense industry experts have raised questions about Canada's ability to integrate two new fighter fleets at the same time. Many military experts are asking whether operating both F-35s and Gripens simultaneously is practically feasible given the costs and complexity of training, sustainment, and integration. F-35 manufacturer Lockheed Martin says it also has significant economic benefits to offer in Canada, promising $15 billion in work if Canada maintains its full order. Discussions between Lockheed Martin and the Canadian government are ongoing. An eco-survey released in late 2025 found that 43% of Canadians support acquiring Gripen fighters, while 29% favor a mixed fleet with F-35s. Support for purchasing only F-35s stood at 13%. Support varied by region and political affiliation. Support for a mixed fleet was strongest in Quebec at 35%, while support for a fleet composed solely of Gripens peaked at 49% in British Columbia. The F-35 was most popular among supporters of the Conservative Party of Canada, with 30% supporting purchase of a single fleet. Among supporters of other parties, support for acquisition of a single fleet of F-35s ranged from 3% to 7%. Purchasing a Gripen fleet was the top choice for supporters of the NDP at 60% and the Liberal Party at 51%. ECHO's president, Frank Graves, stated that Ottawa faces a challenge if it decides to purchase only F-35s, explaining that Canadians' perception of the fighter is closely linked to their views of President of the United States, Donald Trump, which puts the government in an awkward position. Graves said the debate between the Gripen and the F-35 is not so much about the aircraft's technical capabilities, but rather about Canada's alliances in a context of massive increases in its military budget. The one area where Canadians say they want to strengthen relationships even more is anything European. The Swedish manufacturer's plans are drawing interest within the Carney government as it looks to diversify defense suppliers and strengthen an industrial sector affected by tariffs imposed by President of the United States, Donald Trump. Ontario has lost more than 20,000 manufacturing jobs over the past 2 years due to U.S. trade measures, while national losses in auto, steel, aluminum, and lumber sectors are estimated at around 200,000. Saab also envisions using Canadian production facilities to build aircraft for international customers. Ukraine has expressed interest in more than 100 Gripens, while potential GlobalEye customers include France and Germany. This export dimension adds another layer to the industrial benefits calculation, as Canadian facilities could serve not just domestic needs but also international markets. Canada's defense spending is expected to rise by $82 billion over the next 5 years. The government is seeking maximum domestic economic impact from these investments. As Ottawa weighs operational requirements against domestic economic returns, the decision over what aircraft Canada flies and where they are built remains unresolved. Government and industry sources indicate that both Saab's proposals and Lockheed Martin's offers are currently being studied by experts in defense matters and economic benefits in Ottawa.